terms of basic necessities, what commonalities did you find in the former communist bloc and Soviet Union? It is widely believed that health, education, medical care, and housing, they were all available.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
So one would argue that if these facilities were there, then what led to the demise of the system?
Well, as I say, I think that it was I think that people are very fickle, and they could see that in the West it appeared that people had a vast amount of consumer choice. There are all sorts of wonderful things which they could only dream about. And I think that, as much as anything else, pushed by the West, of course, led to dissatisfaction. I certainly don't think that it was based on the fact that people were crying out for the right to criticize, and that it was what we understand as in the West as democracy, which is something that they were yearning for to such an extent that they were prepared to see an end to all the advantages that they'd gained. I think it was quite as simple as that. I think they made some mistakes. For example, I think that they shouldn't have bought into the idea of providing, as they did in Moscow, and I know in Budapest and in Prague also, opening McDonald's restaurants, for example. Bread and circuses, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe that sounds too simplistic, but I'm quite convinced that in every country, the vast majority of people are simply interested in getting on with their lives with the minimum of interference and the maximum of assistance where needed. That's what people want. If you stop people going along this road and you ask them, I'm sure that's what they would say. I don't think they're so, as I say, I think they should be interested. You and I are very interested in political freedom because we have things to criticize. We want people to hear it. But I think most people don't care about that.
Do you think that it was a mistake on the part of the Soviet Union to invest a lot of money into armaments at one point during the Second World War? Their military strength or numerical strength was almost 5 million. At one point, 5.6 million best Soviet minds, including scientists, engineers, astronauts, were affiliated with armament industry or defense industry. So do you think that their over attention on these or over focus on these matters somehow created problem for the economy and for the resources as well?
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did create problems to the delight of the United States. But they had no option. I'm afraid the Soviet Union had no option but to match Western spending, because if at any time their guard had been lowered, then the United States would have intervened to end the regime. So they found other ways of doing that. But the Soviet Union didn't want to spend what it spent on defense. It got far more important things to spend it on. But that's the difference between the capitalist system and the Soviet system. or the Chinese system come to that. There's no advantage to a socialist system of spending money on weapons except to ensure its survival. Whereas the West, it's all business, isn't it? It's all making money, and the money that is made is then finds its way into the system, and the lie that everybody benefits. Of course, it's not true, but the big business always benefits from those things. So it's a plus. The more they spend in the United States on weapons, the better it is for the people that really run things there. But in the socialist system, it's just wasted money. But they had no option.